This is a video for step-by-step instructions for creating unit testing-like assignments in stepic.org. So go to stepic.org and then log in. In another video I've created a course and a class, and so if you haven't done that already, check that out. And so I've already created this one. Let's edit this and add a new step now. I created this one in another video, so if you haven't seen that, check that out. Let's add a new step, and to be able to do unit testing like auto grading, we need a code challenge. And so here, to be able to do this, let's take the average of 3 numbers, and that be our step here. And so we need to give instructions for the students, and so complete the average function. And since average is code, let's format it to take a list of numbers as a parameter and return their average. You can assume all the elements are ints or floats to help them to understand what's going on and to set some bounds for those great students to think of all the corner cases. This is the text they provided, and so this suggests that we're going to have function here for them, and we could give examples to guide them. And that's appropriate here. If you use the input-output, it will automatically generate the first one as an example, but that's not true for using the advanced setting. So we need to go ahead and take out this test case, or it'll trip things up. And now we need to do more here in languages and templates. Okay, first we want to constrain it to a language. So for example, Python 3 and only Python 3. So here what we want to do is starting code for students to be able to give them. And so we use : code, and so this will be what the students then will see when they start. And so let's give that to them so they make sure that they spell everything correctly. And so now what I've come up with to be able to do unit-like testing is to provide a footer, and so that we can change input-output to behave more like a unit test. And so get all the input, which is what we're going to feed it from the system, and then map them all to floats by splitting them up, save it as a list, and then call the student's code average, which will end up calling basically this with our list here, and then display it. So we're forcing the function name here by calling it and changing it from an input-output based system to calling a function. So that's why I call it a unit-like testing test here. Okay, and now we go into advanced, and I won't get into all of this, but let me just provide a working solution here that so we need to import random so that we can generate random input, and generate is going to get called. This is a stepic specified function here, and we're going to create a list of a length at least 2 and up to 9 random numbers, 0 to 100. And what we're going to do is we're going to separate them by space. We're going to make it a string and give that to the generate function, and so we're generating the input here for that. And then what we're doing in check is it's going to call the code, and it's going to check against the clue here. And so we're going to take the result, which is a string. We're going to strip off anything on the ends just to be safe, convert it to a float, and then round that to 2 decimal places. And so this is the students, and then this is ours. And then it also calls the solve method to be able to populate this. And so this is basically the same code as in the header to be able to run it. And then we're going to call average nums just like we are having done in the header, so that it should match up. But then we need to provide our own solution here to be able to call that. And so we need to have our own average here to be able to call that and have our benchmark here. We need to click on Save Changes in stepeck.org. And once we've done that, now let's make sure that it works. We can click on step 3 here, so we're no longer in edit mode. You can see this is how it looks to the students, even with the formatting. I provided some examples here because it doesn't provide. So here's an example. It generated some numbers, and it's saying, hey, this is what it expected. Again, the default is 15 seconds of execution, and so we can provide our solution here, and we should do that just to make sure everything is working. We can click on Run Code. Okay, it gave us this first set, notice, of inputs, and sure enough it matches. Great. So let's submit it to see if everything, yay, it's all correct, so we know things are working. There you go. That's a fast introduction to unit-like testing in stepeck.org. Check out my other videos in this series.